Well, konnichiwa, good morning to you all. So this will be my review for the episode 3 of the series Highschool DxD New. So basically this episode starts when the last one ended with the continuation of the fight between Shinovia and Yuto and Issei versus Irina, his childhood friend. And basically the fight goes on. We see a little bit of the powers of the swords. When we see the power of the sword, the Excalibur, the destruction of Shinovia, and it packs quite a punch, let's say on that way. And we also see the consequence of a demon being wounded by a holy sword, and that happened in the case of Issei because Irina kinda scratches him a little, and basically he immediately loses his powers and his gear is kinda disengaged, shut down. So those holy swords or these holy swords are quite bad for the health of demons. So, nonetheless, there is a very interesting scene during or near the end of the fight. We see kind of epic music when Issei is on the ground, and I was kind of expecting a great speech of him or something like that. But no, basically, he's saying that he has the power to destroy women's clothes, and it's Koneko that warns Irina that he is say those have these powers, and it's a very comic situation in all this situation because Irina kinda dodges the attack and then Issei kinda touches Asia and Koneko that are watching the fight and destroys their clothes, and then is Koneko that kinda punch him pretty hard and not almost knocks him out. And in the sequence of this, we see Issei on the ground. Irina is kind of telling him that he needs to relinquish his power because he's perverted or something like that, and he says that not. And then the epic song enters, and I was kind of expecting, whoa, epic speech, but no, basically he's saying that he wants to continue developing his technique because he basically wants to continue assaulting women but destroying their clothes instead of touching just by glare at them. So, okay, that's his drive motivation, so fine. Then we also, it's Kubo, Yuto is also defeated by Shinovia, and basically after their fight it's Yuto that says to Shinovia that there is a priest, Fried, that he is wielding a holy sword, and basically he works for the fallen angels. So he gave the information to Shinovia about him because we could not forget that the main goal for Shinovia and Irina did appear in the story. Now is basically they are sent on a mission to destroy three holy swords that were taken by a group of fallen angels. So, and that's it. Then the fight ends, and basically then Yuto kinda goes in his decides to go on his own, seeking his own revenge. This kinda is hard for Rias. Um, and then Issei kind of decides to talk with Saji. It's a blonde dude that works for the student council president that is also a human, and he talks to him because he found him on school, and basically he then meets with him later on and asks him for help uh, destroying the holy swords because Issei comes to the conclusion that Kiba wants to destroy the Excaliburs as vengeance for what happened to him in the past. And these two girls of the church basically they came to Japan to retrieve the holy swords or to destroy them. So basically their goals are the same, and he kind of decides to go look for these girls, and for that he asks this guy Saji help, He initially declines, but then he's kind of stopped by Koneko that was overheat, overheating, overhear, overhears the talk. And basically the three, he say, these guys Saji and Koneko kind of go to town looking for the priests. And they found the girls, and they pay them a meal, and it's another funny moment. The first time they see them, and then they're talk during the meal, and they accept their help, and basically then we see them talking with Kiba in a park, and we learn more of the Kiba backstory by his own words. Also, before that, Shinovia kind of tells Kiba that probably one of the guys that is connected with this group of fallen angel is the one in charge of the initial project of the Holy Swords that Kiba took part. And after saying that, Kiba kinda accepts to join forces with them and team down this group. And then Shinobi and Irina go, and basically then Kiba tells his own story to Oneko and to Sarji and to Issei, and well, we understand better his desire for vengeance, and basically he was the sole survivor, we already know this, but he was saved because his companions kind of decided that he should escape, and his companions basically were the ones that helped him escape, and based on that he wants to have vengeance, not because he was part of the experiments of the Holy Source, but because all his friends' lives were killed in that process, and they sacrificed in a way their own lives to save him. So he wants to have vengeance because of his friends that died in the experiment. And it's a reasonable reason, I say. And basically the episode ends with a small talk between Rias and Sona, the student council president and member of other of the demon families. And right at the end we see that the guy that usually is hanging out with Issei is kind of fishing, and we see a phone call from Issei kind of saying that he cannot go that night because he has stuff to do and so on, and then we see another character appearing, and I think this character is Vali. I don't know if it's Vali Lucifer or its other name, but this character is very important in the story. He is one of the main antagonists of the first part of the light novels, and he is a commanding officer of a group inside the Fallen Angels, or the organization, the Grimoire organization. I think it's Vali. I'm not sure, but I think it's him. So, and basically the episode ends. Now, on this old man that is seeing, I have two hypotheses. Either he is one of the fallen angels that is linked with this organization, or eventually he could be the bishop that made the first experiment of the holy swords and then ordered the decimation of all the lab rats for this project. I'm not sure who this guy is, but he will also play a very important role, at least in the first part of the history, because he also appears in the intro alongside this new character that appeared, that I think it's Vali. So they will play a role in this series, maybe as the main villains. I don't know, but I guess that will be the case. In the case of Vali, I know. In the case of this guy, I don't know exactly who he is, but and basically this is the episode. This was a very good episode. We have again story progression. We have more in depth in the personality of Kiba, and I'm glad that they, in the least in these first three episodes, they kind of develop a lot more this character. I honestly think he deserved this development because in the first season he was kinda in the sidelines most of the times. And I, from stuff that I read, probably we could even have more character development of other characters like Akino and Neko, even Asia. So this is very interesting from stuff that I was reading in site. And this series, from what I have read, this series is fantastic, and the light novels were fantastic. Uh, Obviously, this series possess a lot. This episode they did not go overboard with the fan service, but the fan service is there, obviously. This is kinda a series that fan service is also a part of the history, so but it's not exaggerated. So it's very enjoyable. We have two or three funny moments and comedy moments, and I liked a lot this series because of this. It's kinda a hybrid between action, story, fan service, obviously, but it has comedy, it has funny moments, it has funny situations. So this series is kinda a hybrid that it's very enjoyable to watch. And if you never watch the series and if you like stuff related with the supernatural, demons, angels, fallen angels, and so on, uh, probably you will enjoy watching the series. Um, if you did not watch the first season, watch it. If you already watched it and did not watch any of the episodes that have came out of this second season, go watch it. It's worthwhile and it's very interesting, very funny, and the story is very well connected in my opinion. So this is my review for episode 3 of Highschool DxD New. Hope you enjoy, and like always, if you have your comments, thoughts, ideas, please post them on the comments below. So stay well, peace, and see you soon.